All right, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat South America. Krista Melendo, Real Deal, and Jane Aldrich. Barbara, boy, it's going to be a good day. I appreciate you guys being here. Barella, Jared Wilson. All right. See a show of hands. Who likes the okie doke? Because I'm a fan of the okie doke. Let's hit that like button. What an interesting day this has been. Thank you for the 5x5, Jane. You're reading my mind. Look at that. I love the phrase beautifully broken. I do too. You know why? Because I'm telling you, we all are. We really are. All right, so I did go. We're going to get right to it. All right, so the reason I did this video, I got 7 emails the other day from people that are looking to get some help to beat addiction. 7 emails. Now, of this, hello there, Jeremy Fowler, Sam, how cool. Of the 7 emails that I got, 2 of them used the word crazy. One said, I'm not giving names, hello, Michael. One of them said the house that he's in is so crazy, it's difficult to stay on a straight line. The other person said the world is crazy, and that's making it difficult. Garden of Mordor, great name. So it seemed like a good thing to talk about because the world is crazy right now. It's funny because just as I'm getting ready, the reason I staggered it, just as I'm getting ready to do this, I look up the news. There's an active shooter in Manhattan. It is a crazy world. There's no 2 ways about it. So it brings up the question, how do we, we're in the world. There's no 2 ways about it. How do you shield yourself from the crazy? So that's what we're going to talk about real quick. Hi, Jonathan. Now, I'm not, listen, these are just observations I've got, all right? So what we're going to do is, real quickly, we're just going to talk about, Drew V, good to see you. Look at that. I love that. Check that out. We're all broken. That's how the light gets in. Hemingway. It's a great quote. All right, so let's talk about that because there is crazy. I think everybody can relate to that. Doesn't matter where you are. It's just the state of things right now, right? Listen, I was in North America my entire life. I moved to South America. Things are still crazy. It's just the way it is. So it's not a U.S. problem. It's a world problem. So I've got a couple things I want to tell you about that I think you can use to shield yourself from the crazy. And look what I got. When the cat acts crazy tonight, she will. I got some distractions for her. Look at this. There is perfection in imperfection. God doesn't make mistakes. See the guru stuff? That's a guru line. That's what I meant. Everybody's a guru. Everybody's a teacher. Everybody's a student. That was profound, if you ask me. So let's talk real quick. How do we shield ourselves from the crazy? The first thing, garbage in, garbage out. What content? If you sit and just there's a thing on the news right now about an active shooter. If I sit and park myself in front of that, that's all I watch all night. We're consuming that. It has to affect how we are, right? Years ago, I stopped watching mainstream news because it's the 24-hour cycle. I stopped watching TV altogether. And the benefit, I can't tell you how freeing it was. And the reason is I stopped consuming garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Captain Capsaicin. All right, so the first thing, then I'm just telling you what I do, all right? You can try it to adopt this and see if it helps you, but this is stuff that helps me. Hi, Roberta. Number 1, watch what content you're consuming. We watch what food we eat, right? It makes sense that we watch what we consume here, right? So try to, consume good stuff, and it'll help. Control the uncontrollable. Here's the thing. The world is nuts right now, and you feel like, what can I do about it? How do you control it? There's certain things we cannot, there's nothing we can do about it, right? Just things are going to happen. This is what Tommy says. Make your bed, journal, do something where you have the control. I like making a list of things that I want to accomplish during the day, and seeing the list and checking it off, watching those things get checked off is a good feeling. It gives me the feeling like I'm controlling a little bit of what's around me. All right. So again, these are things that I do. I watch what content I'm consuming. All right. I really do. It's important. The second, control, have a level of control. That to me is really important because in this world, it's so crazy. It's hard to, like, what can you control? Control you. The other thing is, I like this. Hang on one second. You guys like Napoleon Dynamite? Watching it a lot in Spanish. The other thing is this. What's the most important meal of the day? Everybody knows, right? It's breakfast. I think we all need to protect our morning, like guard it, like ferociously, because whatever happens to you in the morning kind of sets the tone for the day. I believe that. You know what I mean? At least with me, it's like that. So, guard your morning like it's a fortress because it's that important. That is what I do. I don't have a lot, but those things right there. Watch be careful with what content I'm consuming. Hi, Cindy G. All right. Watch what you consume with content. Get some level of control. Like, control what you can. Making your bed, cleaning things up, making sure there's no dishes in the sink. Little things like that gives you the feeling like you have a little bit of control. And I'm telling you, defend your morning like it's a fortress, because that sets the tone of the day. This morning I woke up, I was in a funk. I mean, a deep funk, and I didn't want to do a live stream. And Tommy's like, my guru. Tommy's like, you have to do a live stream. It's going to help. And what it did, you know why it helped? It helped because of connection. It's just that simple. I know, isn't that a great screen name? I liked it too, a lot. I went to New Zealand years and years ago, and boy, it's all Lord of the Rings all the time. Little shops have things about it. It's pretty neat. All right. Cindy G says, I find my mornings are really good when I start with a boat and the bus. It truly helps. Started with Calhoun. Isn't he a little rock star? I shouldn't say little. He is a rock star. Whoops. Jonathan, I'm going to get to that. I'll stick with it. I was going to try Archie's mom, but it flew up on me. Most definitely, you don't have to do a whole lot to try to and change. Change will come if you're ready for it. One day at a time. Fact. And Archie's mom says we need to try to outdo the negativity by being kind to each other. Lots of positive words create positive energy. It's a fact. If you guys, listen, I give you a challenge. If you're watching like the 24-hour news cycle, you can watch it for 1 hour. You don't need to watch it all day long. I challenge you. Just be careful with what you consume. We're very careful with what we consume with food, right? You wouldn't eat food that's going to poison you, but the stuff we watch does. So be careful with what you consume. Control what you can. Journal. My ex-wife, not my kid's mom, but my ex-wife, the last one, she had a thing. Never go to bed with dishes in the sink, ever. And that was great. It became a habit. And now I don't I wake up, there's a lot of things going on, but there's no dishes in the sink. So control some stuff. And I'm telling you, this is so important with me. Protect your morning like your life depends on it, because it sets the tone of the whole day. And this is how we can sort of, keep the crazy away. I hope it works for you guys. It's something that I do, and it sort of helps. You got a room full of smart people here, Johnny. We love you, buddy. Thank you, Jonathan. This morning I was in such a funk, and what pulled me out of the funk was connection. In fact, it's kind of a funny thing. If you watch that video from this morning, I started that video like this. And I'm telling you, it was a dark morning. Hey, there's Aaron DiGiorno. Good to see you. My morning was really funky. And if I did what I wanted to do, which was just hide, I'd probably still be in a funk. It's the truth, but I didn't. I got connection. But if you watch that video, you'll see me like a balloon inflating. By the end of it was a 45-minute video, I think. By the end of it, I felt so much different. And the reason I felt so much different was because of you guys and because of connection. It's just that simple. It's amazing. I think if we really knew all the different elements from depression, because that's what was killing me this morning, depression. There's sobriety. There's so many things that connection is the key. And none of us get enough of it. You know, I believe that. Dude, Lord of the Rings is legit, right? I kind of see that as one movie and not three. I see it as one like 6 hour or how many hours? That's how I see it because it kind of flows like that. So it's absolutely an amazing. It's one of my favorite series of all time. Cindy asked a great question. You know what? She said, did you get to the farmer's market? What did you think if you did? I did not. And the reason I didn't, it's all on me. I started in a funk this morning. I wanted to, and I as soon as the video ended, I intended to. But you know what happened? I looked at my emails, and there's a lot of emails from people in a jam. The funny thing is that if you watch the video the other day, it was about helping people that have a substance abuse problem, something they want to put in their rearview mirror. So the majority of the 7 emails were, "Hey, I have a problem with opiates, kratom, drinking, whatever it was." But there were more videos that said that basically just crying out for connection. I don't think it's possible for us to get enough connection. I really don't. But I'll tell you what, a lack of connection, I think, is deadly. I really do. Check this out. Real Deal says, my morning is take my dog out and be in nature. Touch grass. You know, there's no whole lot of grass where I'm at, but there's sand, there's the beach. Get out. I agree with that. It's important. You know, like this morning, I was in a funk and I had ants, the automatic negative thoughts. And I talked a while back about how doesn't matter how smart we are, we can trick our brains really easily. I call it like playing fetch with your brain. You know, if you have a dog, and I don't care it could be laying on the floor, sleeping. If you take a stick and smack it on the ground and throw it, that dog is going to take off. It just is. Galthy, good to see you. Hi, Wes Lightburn. The dog is going to take off and retrieve that stick, or at least chase it down. It may not bring it back to you, but it's going to chase the stick down. We could do that with our brain. If we have ants and we're in a funk, it's really funny. I couldn't think of this morning. Isn't that crazy? Too close to the forest to see the trees. You can do that with your brain. The way you play fetch with your brain, look at something different. If I hadn't done if I didn't go live this morning, you know what would have happened? I'm just telling you what would have happened. I would have sat in my room and stared at the walls in my room. So instead, get outside. That's playing fetch with your eyes because you're seeing different things. When I go outside, I'm not still in my room. I'm outside looking at stuff. You hear different things. In my room, I'm hearing nothing. My thoughts and the ants. I go outside, I'm hearing the ocean crashing. You know what I mean? There's 2 senses that I'm playing fetch with, right? Smelling the ocean. Try to engage your 5 senses doing something different. Now, here's the problem. When you're in a funk, even though I intellectually know the steps that I should take, I kind of sat there and wallowed in my funk, right? The smart thing to do was to get, even though I know what to do, I was allowing it to kind of consume me. And if it weren't for my brother, it would have been a really rough day if it weren't for my brother. But he said, I said to him, I'm not doing a stream. He's like, why not? I said, I feel like garbage. My head's in the gutter right now. It's in the toilet. He said, well, now's the time you got to do it. Are you kidding me? He's so right. So sometimes you got to do the opposite of what you want to do. But if you do it, good things can happen. Truly, if you don't even need to listen to the stream. You can put it on mute, right? And put it on double speed, and you can watch me sort of inflate like a balloon. I started the video off feeling terrible. And by the end, I was a different person. And it wasn't because of me. It was because of you and connection. You hear that? Man, there's something going on here. Garden of Mordor, thank you. I love the Lord of the Rings. My son is Marley Werner. I like Lord of the Rings too. There's some very heavy, just a heavy flick. I'm serious. Hi, Johnny and friends, lurking, going to bed shortly, but wanted to say hi. Check this out, Lisa. Lisa sent this for my cat. The truth is, Squirrel plays with it too. I'm playing fetch with a cat. When she starts to destroy stuff, I'm going to throw this, and guess what? She's going to go chase it. She probably won't bring it back to me, but she's going to go chase it. So remember, think about your 5 senses when things are going south. And I'm telling you, if you can change all 5 senses, eat something, smell something, the whole 9 yards, there's no way you can remain in the funk. But boy, I'll tell you something. Connection, unbelievable. Jane says, Johnny, it was something to watch you come together during your stream this morning. You helped me do the same thing. It was what an experience. I won't forget it. It really was very interesting. I didn't think it was going to happen. Like, I had a feeling, listen, I know that connection helps. I was hoping it would make a difference, but it was staggering. I mean, it was a huge, huge change. I learned something from this morning. I did. Rocket Queen, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Sam, what a good dude. Lilac Line, buenas noches, senor. Buenas noches. Renee, I'm sorry I'm late, my friend. You know what? You're not late. You are right on time. And you know what? I'm glad you're here, Renee. Seriously. Cindy says, is it working to distract her? Yeah, well, here's the thing. If she was sitting here destroying the couch, you can even hear her clawing at it. I'd throw the bird, and more than likely, she'll go chase it. She may come back and destroy the couch again, but I'll distract her for a moment. TH, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I like your avatar. Let's see here. Huge. It was a real moment for me. I learned something very heavy. And listen, shouldn't do him. Good to see you. John, good to see you. You don't need to even listen to the video I did this morning. That's a shame you can't put it on like 10 times the speed, because if you could, you'd see it really dramatically. It really, really turned my day around. So if you're just getting here, what I was talking about is, how do you live in the world that's crazy and not become crazy? 3 little things that I told you about. Number 1 is worry about, be aware, for real, be aware of the content you consume, right? Control what you're able to, because so much in the world we can't control. But I'll tell you what, you can make your bed. There's tons of stuff in the world there's nothing we can do about. You can clean the dishes in the sink. You can pick up your room. If there's something on the floor, pick it up, put it away. No matter how little it is, there's control, right? And the third thing is, protect your morning. Be fierce in how you protect your morning, because your morning dictates the day. Everybody's asking about Tommy. Tommy visited the dentist. They couldn't do anything on the spot, but I think he has an appointment to get it taken care of. But he's not in pain today, which is great. I had wisdom teeth pain. There's no 2 ways about it. And before I had the surgery, it would hurt me for a few days and it would stop. Then like 6 months later, it would hurt again and it would stop. And that time between the pain started getting closer and closer. And that's what told me I needed to get my teeth fixed. That's a funny story. I should tell you that story. You guys want to hear a funny story? When I got my teeth, my molars taken out, and I swear to you, I'm telling you the truth, the practice I went to, there were 2 dentists at this practice. Are you ready? Dr. Rentschler, like Wrench, Dr. Rentschler, and Dr. Wunderlich. I swear to you, it was in Rockford, Illinois. Dr. Rentschler and Dr. Wunderlich. Unbelievable. I went to get my teeth taken out. And they said to me, don't suck on a straw. Don't do anything like that, right? Don't smoke. And I didn't smoke. And I've never smoked cigarettes. On the way home, this is when I was married to my kid's mom. I was thirsty. We stopped at a McDonald's. And I got a Coke. And I didn't suck on the straw hard, but I didn't listen to the doctor. I didn't think it was hard enough to cause a problem. This is on I think it was like a Friday. I went home. The first thing I did was I sit on the couch and I was watching TV. And I was watching, like, I don't know if it was some animal show. Could have been Wild Kingdom, National Geographic. I don't know what it was, but I'm sitting on the couch. I'm still kind of groggy from the surgery I had. And I'm watching this guy hang out of a helicopter. They're in Alaska. They're trying to tag a grizzly bear. This is the craziest thing. The guy's, he's got a harness, but he's leaning out of this helicopter, and they're chasing this bear, gigantic grizzly bear. And it's trying to get away from the helicopter. They shoot it with a dart, right? They follow it till it drops from the medication. It's like a sedative. So as soon as he's unconscious or immobile, they land the helicopter. This guy gets out. He goes over to this giant grizzly bear. They pull its lip down and they tattoo a number on its lip. Then they open his mouth and they said that he had crowding in his mouth, teeth. So this guy takes some, you got to remember, I just got my teeth taken out. This guy takes pliers and just pulls some teeth out of this bear's mouth, just yanks some teeth out. Then they put a big collar on his neck so they can track where this thing goes. Then they get in the helicopter and take off. And I'm thinking to myself, can you imagine being in that area when that bear comes to? Think of how mad he's going to be. So anyway, I lay on the couch and I lay down. I wake up and the pain started. Anybody in the chat ever had dry socket? They pull a tooth out and there's a nerve there, and they pack it with gauze and some clove oil. But when I sucked on the straw, it kind of, the suction of it pulled I guess some of the gauze out, and air hit the nerve. And I'm telling you, I'm a masochist, and I've had some pain before, but it hurt from here all the way down my chin and to the other side, and I was in agony. So I called the dentist. Now, the two there's Wunderlich and Rentschler. Which one do you think took care of me? You think it was Wunderlich? Nah, it was Dr. Rentschler. So I called him and I said, listen, I'm dying. I need help. This guy says, I'm leaving for the day. I can see you on Monday. And this is just starting to get bad. I'm like, I'll tell you what, you're going to see me today. I said, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And I was probably a 10 or 15-minute drive away. I drove like Mario Andretti. I was breaking laws like you can't imagine, trying to get there before he left. I get there and I sit down. He takes me right back immediately. And I sit down and he takes more gauze soaked in clove oil. He shoves it in the hole. I mean, just like that, it was gone. Just like that, the pain was gone. I actually got it one more time before I actually fully healed. There she is. She's getting crazy. But boy, that, no joke. And then to make it, my kid's mom, she needed to have her wisdom teeth out. So they decided they were going to do the bottom and then the top. They didn't want to do it at the same time. So she goes in, and who do you think she sits with? Wunderlich or Rentschler? She got Dr. Wunderlich, who was super sweet apparently. So now when we're telling her how bad the dry socket was, I'm like, whatever you do, don't suck on a straw. And she didn't smoke, but I'm like, you don't want, this is the worst pain in the world. Hi, Cliff Ann. Hi, Kelly Ann. Good to see you guys. So, Wanda, good to see you. Yeah, mine were impacted. It was horrible. So at this point in time, I'm working at the mission, the same mission group that I went to Russia with. And I was sitting at work one day, and I remember her, right after she got him out, she goes, I don't know what you were whining about. This isn't so bad. She said that to me. So I'm at work one day, and the phone rings. I pick it up, and all I hear is, I didn't know who it was. There's no caller ID. I said, hello, who is this? It was my wife, my kid's mom. She had dry socket. And she said that she was only 2 miles from where the dentist was. I was probably 5 miles. And she said she has dry socket. I said, I'm so sorry, honey. Call the doctor and go there. They'll pack it with some gauze and clove oil, and you'll be fine. And she said, I called the doctor, and they said that he wouldn't prescribe any medicine for me and told me to tough it out. I said, honey, don't you worry about a thing. Drive there. I'll meet you there. She was really close, and I was much further away. I drove faster there than I did when I had mine. As fast as I could. I could do a 4-wheel drift into the parking lot. I parked the car, and I go inside. And the second they saw me, there was they had a door like for the counter. They slammed the counter so I couldn't get back there. And I said, my wife's going to be in here in a few minutes. She has dry socket. You're going to treat her like it was your daughter or your wife. And if you don't, you're going to need an oral surgeon. That's what I said to him. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. And so she got there. I beat her to the dentist. She comes in. They take her right back immediately. And Dr. Wunderlich shoves gauze with clove oil into the hole where the tooth was. 5 minutes later, she comes out. She's not crying anymore, completely relieved. So we go home, and like a couple weeks later, she had to get the other teeth done. They didn't do it in one. It was a 2-part thing. So she called to get the other ones done. And they said, I'm sorry, you're going to have to find a different dentist. Why? Because your husband scares us. It's not funny, but that's my tooth story. Anyway, you know what's happening right now? You guys know what is happening right here? Connection. That's all. I'm kind of telling you goofy stories, and you guys are connecting with each other in the chat. If you feel a little better, we've only been doing this for 25 minutes. If you feel a little better now than you did 25 minutes ago, let's put a 2 in the chat. Let's mix it up a little bit. You're going to see some 2s, and not because people are just yesing me. You're going to see 2s flying up in the comment section because people feel a little better. There's something, honestly, this whole connection thing is not a joke. Look at the 2s, right? Now, here's the truth of it. Maybe the people that are putting 2s, like Jane and Tassie Dalt and TH and Barbara, you may not have even been in a funk. And Kristen and Sam, Jonathan, you may not have even been in a funk 26 minutes ago. Regardless, because of this connection, everybody's feeling a little bit better. You know, connection. So, you know what? Let's add that to the list. I had 3 different things that you can kind of focus on to live in the world, in this crazy world, and kind of avoid being crazy. The first was, you know, watch what content you take in. You didn't miss 1 hot minute last night. You know what? I don't have anything hot with me now. Tomorrow, we're going to do a 1 hot minute. I'm sorry. Today was kind of a weird day. Tomorrow, 1 hot minute. And if you don't know what 1 hot minute is, we all eat something hot at the exact same time. And the fun thing about it is everybody puts their score of how hot it is. I have some Reaper hot sauce, and I haven't done Reaper in a long time. Anyway, getting back to the steps you can take to make sure you don't get crazy in a crazy world. Watch what content you consume. Control what you can. Make your bed, journal, you know, fold clothes, do the dishes in the sink. Something that you can control. It'll give you a sense of control in a world where we feel like we have none. The third was protect your morning. Protect your morning like fiercely. Because what happens in your morning dictates your day. If I didn't do a live stream this morning and have some connection, my whole day would have been shot. I promise you. And let's add to that, find some connection. Connect with somebody. You know what I mean? If you have to email me. But if you do those 4 things, I promise you, it'll give you, it's kind of insulating yourself from nuts in a nutty world. Raspberry. Good to see you. Look at this, as well as lowering the amount of content. 10 hours of fantastic content will still make you feel like a zombie if you aren't getting some fresh air. Well, you know what? That's so true. We all sit in how you're not going to hear content creators say, stop watching so much content. But I'll tell you what, Raspberry is telling the truth. It just is. You know, we mix it up. Go outside. You know, people say touch grass. I don't have any grass around me, but I can touch sand. Let's see what we got here. Jane says, oh, we already read that one. Thank you, Jane. Tassie Doll says, hi, Johnny, Tommy, and mods from down under. I love Australia. Archie's mom, I was really into watching true crime and listening to true crime podcasts all the time. Since I stopped, I'm sure it's made a massive impact on my mental energy. It is. For instance, right now, right before I went live, some lunatic in Manhattan got an AR-15 and started shooting people. Shot 6 people. It's early, so I don't know everything. I heard them say that 1 police officer was killed and 1 civilian was killed, and then he offed himself. Now, I just told you what happened. Now, if you sit down in front of your TV and watch it for 6 hours, number one, you don't need to. You can cover it in 5 minutes. But they're going to talk about it over and over and over again. You know, watch how much content you take in. Jonathan, it's been a hot summer here. How does South America's weather feel? They only really have 2 seasons here. It's I haven't experienced them, so I can't really tell you. But the overall, on average, it's about 75 degrees every single day. And the water is somewhere between 72 and 75 every single day. When it gets cold, it might get down to 55 at night, and that's about it. So it's pretty consistent. There's no weird weather. There's no, there's nothing dramatic. I asked her, I kind of like storms. So I asked our realtor about storms. You know what she said? Yeah, I've been here 18 years. I've seen lightning once in 18 years. Yeah, there's no storms here. So, but, so far it's very, very nice. The weather's beautiful. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you for asking. Like in the shades. Thank you, Archie's mom. Hi, David Booley. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Tommy Bird. Hello. Marty Mongoose. Look at this. I feel better today for the first time since the past couple months. Johnny, your streams and advice are part of the reason why. That's awfully kind of you. But you know what? You're applying those things. It isn't just me yakking, flapping my gums. You're applying some stuff that you've learned, So take credit for that. You deserve it. Let me see. This season isn't very good for me. Well, I hope it gets better. I really do, Gaffy. Don't give up. Here's Brock Bandy, my brother. Kellyanne asked about Tommy. He's doing better. No two ways about it. He saw the dentist today, and he couldn't get it taken care of, but I think they set an appointment for him to get it taken care of. I hope he has a better experience than when I had mine. I think he's going to have impacted wisdom teeth taken out. And boy, what a drag that is. For real. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Sam says, I ate 3 MA warthogs the other night that Matthew sent me, Johnny. Very, very cool. It's a great pepper, for real. Real Deal says, same. I don't want to really move, but I can see what it will do for me. Second time for a big move abroad. I can see what it will do for me and others. Moving abroad if I did move here, I would have moved somewhere. I'm glad I moved here. Jeremy says, remembering the steps to heal when you're in pain is the single hardest at the time. Yep. To get those thoughts in place. But if you can't alone, someone will help you without you knowing it. I'm telling you, if I didn't listen to my brother this morning, I would have stayed in my room and I would have just been in a funk all day long. Look what Garden of Mortar says. Keep your head up and keep walking forward. Whatever you're going through, go through it. Don't let it be a wall. I was very, very ready to let it be a wall this morning. Thank God I have a smart brother who said, knock it off. You're going to do it whether you want to or not. You're going to do this. You'll need it. That's what he said. I'm really glad I took his advice. Dane Young, I'm so glad to see you. Hey, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful night. Seriously. Throwing down with the Browns. Look at this. Take credit for being a humble inspiration, Mr. Scola. It's awfully kind of you. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. Look at Kathy says, you sound better, Johnny. I do. And I'm telling you, the reason I do, Devin, Pauline, good to see you. Thanks for being here. It's because of this. It really is. Connection, it makes such a difference. I mean it. So tomorrow, we're doing a 1 hot minute. I give you my word. I won't forget. I got a bottle of Reaper sauce, so we're going to do it. Thrown down with the Browns. Wisdom teeth are brutal. Mine grew in facing towards the other teeth. That's what mine were doing. All the teeth go this way. Mine were doing that. I had no idea why. And they had to get them out. It was awful. I didn't like thinking about it. I'm telling you, dry socket. I've had kidney stones. I've seen bones sticking out. There is no pain in the world that I've ever experienced like dry socket. It makes kidney stones feel like a good time. I'm not joking. Cassie Dahl says, I went to the dentist once to have an extraction. The dentist broke the tooth next to it, which was fine. Prior to that, he had to extract both. My father, when you sit down in a dentist, they only give you enough juice, enough of the stuff that knocks you out, just enough to get the tooth out, and then you wake up. Seriously, they don't want you out any longer than they have to. My dad was getting a tooth pulled out, and he woke up in the middle of it. The tooth broke. And they didn't give him more of the stuff to make you sleep. And he kind of was coming around while they were trying to get the broken tooth out. Oh, my God. I don't like thinking about it. I really don't. It's such an awful thing. Tooth pain is just the worst. Jonathan with a dad joke. What did one wall say to the other? Meet you at the corner. I like that. I like good dad jokes. Roberta says, you're killing me with a dry socket. Worse than labor. I don't know. I've never had labor. I'll tell you what. Honest to God, it makes kidney stones seem like a good time. It was the worst thing in the world. Thrown down with the Browns. My wife had 4 dry sockets. Such a destined couple we are. Isn't that crazy, though? Wunderlich and Rentschler. I swear to you, that was the name of the and the guy that took, man, I don't like thinking about it. RSW, cool glasses, Johnny. I hope all is well. Chase the, it's getting better. It's this morning. I had a rough morning, but I'll tell you what. Thank God I got a guru for a brother. Jonathan, Johnny could be a teacher with those rocking shades. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dane says, without connecting with people, the lies they peddle are more believable. Boy, I am taking a picture of that comment. Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a good one. So true. Watch what you consume, control what you can, protect your mornings like your life depended on it, and connect with people. Honestly. Devin says, hey there, Mr. Scoville, about to make 2 years sober. Wow, that's awesome. Was wondering how long you've been sober and if there are any real moments of accomplishment that stand out to you. Thanks for your time. I've been sober from all the really ugly bad ones like heroin and meth and coke for over 15 years. I don't miss it. Alcohol over 6.5. I think 6.5. Let me check. Let me see here. Yeah, 6 years, 3 months, 18 days. So thank you for asking. As far as accomplishments that stand out, my children are my greatest accomplishments. You know, my sobriety is like one of my greatest accomplishments. I was a mess, for real. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. But it doesn't happen by accident. It's an inside job. You need friends. You absolutely need to. You need connection. Look at this. I had a friend where he almost committed suicide. Do you know what? I can't believe you said that. I was going to say it, but I was afraid they're going to demonetize this video, but they're probably going to anyway. I promise you, people have, off themselves because of the pain. It was the worst. I don't even think about it. It was the most painful thing ever. It went all the way down my chin. But the weirdest thing was when he shoved the gauze in with the clove oil. When I tell you it stopped like that, it stopped like that. And then he says, he swears he almost did. And if you know Justin, I believe him. I absolutely believe that he almost did. It's the worst pain in the world. My wisdom teeth are slowly coming in. No pain thus far. I should remove them since they might be impacted. Do it sooner rather than later. I remember the doctor saying the best time to do it is when you're 16 because you heal quicker. The older you get, the worse the recovery is. It is unbearable, John. No problem, Sam. Thanks for being here, dude. Captain Capsaicin says, never had dry socket, but shattered my left elbow in 2 places playing Little League. That was painful enough. I've had a bunch of painful injuries, but nothing ever came close to the dry socket thing. Wes, my family doctor's name is Dr. Doodoo. That's hilarious. Or Dodo? Dodo, excuse me. Look at this. We had an orthodontist named Dr. Beaver. Interesting. When we're done, I'm going to look in Rockford to see if Rentschler and Wunderlich are still in business. I had dry socket years ago and can feel for you, feel your friend. Hard to endure it. Boy, it really is. Shit Doom says, appreciate all the knowledge and good vibes you share, Johnny. You made my gardening and life way better. I'll tell you what. Thank you for saying that. We lean on each other, Look at this. She's laying down in the basket. Sober minds rock. Oh, she wants her bird. There you go, Katie. Here's your bird. Sober minds do rock. Thank you for being here, Cali Chaos. You're not late. Spicy Jen, you're right on time. Nerve pain is very hard to treat. It is. I'll tell you, kidney stones they're no joke. I've only had 2. And the first time I had it, I was laying in bed next to my wife, my kid's mom. And I swear to you, it was like somebody took a bucket of water and threw it on me. I was in so much pain, just instantly sweating everywhere. And I woke her up. I thought I was dying. No joke. I told her I thought I had a kidney stone. You know what she told me? She said, breathe through it. And she rolled over and went back to bed. I went into the bathroom and passed that thing. Barbara Waite. Hola, Johnny in the chat. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow night, 1 hot minute, everybody. Look at this. I saw an internist years ago named Dr. Payne. Not kidding. Man, I'll tell you what. If you're a doctor, you decide to go into the medical field and your last name is Payne, you might want to change your last name. Or just, I believe it. Listen, my Wunderlich was the funny thing is he was very, very gentle with my wife, probably because I threatened him. But Wunderlich had bedside manner like Joseph Mengele. He was not very nice. I shouldn't have threatened him, but it was my wife, Okay, Tassi's got to go. Thank you for the stream. I had a good day, but it can always get better, and it has. I'm so glad. I hope you have the rest of your day is amazing. Okay, so Renee, what substance was the most difficult to quit? You know what? Good question. Before I do, I have to read this. Look at this. I knew a psychiatrist named Dr. Looney. I believe it. So of all the substances I quit, and I've quit all of them, believe it or not, what are you doing, Katie? Hey, Katie, what are you doing? Hey, chill. That's a computer there. Relax. The hardest one for me to quit was marijuana, was weed. All the hard ones, like all the bad ones I mentioned earlier, none of those were ever my drug of choice. That doesn't mean I wasn't addicted to them, because I was. But I think it was easier for me to walk away from them because they were not my drug of choice. And for my whole life, weed was. I'm just being honest with you. And that was the hardest to let go of. You know what? Keeping busy. What are you doing, Kat? Seriously, what are you doing? Keeping busy. You know, I tell people this a lot. As human beings, we're very good at picking up habits. And nobody's better at picking up a habit than this guy. Come on, dude. Seriously, here, come down there and play down there. We can pick up, a habit like that, but getting rid of one is difficult. So fill your day with great habits. Getting up, making your bed, you know what I mean? Journaling a little bit, spending 5 minutes, getting in touch with nature, something. But fill your day with good habits, and it doesn't leave a whole lot of time for the bad ones. I know that sounds really like easy to and it is. It's easy to say. It's harder to actually live. But it's a multi-pronged attack. There's no one thing. It's everything, I think anyway. Tomorrow night, I'm seeing my Red Sox take on the Twins with my dad at Target Field in Minneapolis. I will be there for the next 100 minutes. How cool. Enjoy that time with your dad. That's so cool. I'm glad you're doing that. Life's too short, everybody. It just is. Like, I'm 59. Do you guys understand that? I was like 16 or 17 yesterday. I have no idea how it happened. I've heard the same thing, Renee. I've heard that nicotine is one of the worst to quit. I have absolutely heard that as well. Here's the thing. If it's your drug of choice, they're all brutal to quit, and it's hard. It's hard to put an addiction in your rearview mirror, but I promise you it's worth it. And it's like you can't ever let your guard down, ever. You got to, always have your guard up and be careful, because I don't ever want to fall back into the way I used to live. Jeremy says, Johnny, I'm trying to cut back on my weed usage as well, and it is tough. It sure is. To me, staying away from people that were into that, let me tell you something. A long, long time. This is a funny story. I was trying to quit. I really was. I was making a good effort. And there were certain friends that that you always do that with, right? Well, I had a few weeks under my belt. I had quit. Hey, Katie, please cut it up. And I was coming home from work. Before I left, I saw this guy. He's like, hey, dude, come on, let's go for a ride. I knew what that meant. I should not have gone on that ride with him. And I did. I got stoned with him. And I went home, and my wife met me at the door. My wife, every time she'd see me, she'd give me this kiss. That was the kiss. She'd kiss, but she had her nose going. So I gave her a kiss, and she said, you smell like weed. I said, no, I don't. She goes, yes, you do. I said, I don't. I said, I went and had a beer in the bar. Maybe it was the smoke from there. So she said, okay, maybe you didn't. And it worked. I remember calling Tommy, and I said to Tommy, you're not going to believe it. He goes, what? I said, I just pulled the Jedi mind trick on my wife. He goes, what happened? I told him the story. And so the next day, I'm back not doing it. I'm trying to stay, not get high. And it was a hard thing to do. I see the guy again a couple weeks later. He goes, hey, dude, let's go for a ride. And I should not have. I did. And you know why I did? Because I wanted to. Anyway, I went with him and got stoned again. I went home, and my wife greets me at the door, and she went and did the old nose test while she's kissing me. And she looks at me and she said, you've been smoking. I said, no, I haven't. She goes, yes, you have. I said, no, I went to the bar, and that's what you smell. She looked at me and said, you are weak, Luke. I swear to you, she said that. Like the force, I'm not joking. I laughed. I immediately started laughing, which got me busted. But it was one of the funniest things that she ever said in the entire time we were married. You are weak, Luke. What made that funny is the last time it happened, I called my brother and said, I just pulled a Jedi mind trick on my wife. Crazy. True story, though. Renee says my only issues currently are alcohol. Smoking cigarettes were difficult in my 50s and coke in college. Here's the thing about the alcohol problem. It's pushed. It isn't just in your face in stores. It's pushed on you. I've told this before. I was in Reno, and a guy in the sauce community flew to Reno. He wanted to meet with me about a potential collab with him. So we went to a casino to eat. Now, I never go to casinos. The only time I don't gamble. The only time I ever went to casinos was to eat because the food's great. And it's cheap because they know they're going to make up for it with bad decisions at the tables. But we sat down and we were, I ordered, I think I had a cranberry juice. I'm pretty sure I did. I think it was cranberry juice. And the guy I was with had a beer. And so when I ordered it, he ordered a beer. I said, I'll have a cranberry juice. And the guy goes, hey, man, let me put some vodka in that for you, my friend? I said, no, I just want cranberry juice. And he goes, okay. So he split, brings back the food and my cranberry and my friend's beer. There was a shift change with waiters halfway through our meal. So the guy comes over and says, hey, I'm your waiter for the night. I just kind of took over. Can I get you guys another drink? And the guy I was with said, yeah, I'll have another beer. And he goes, what you having? I said, cranberry juice. And he goes, would you like another one? I said, I would. He goes, you want me to put some vodka in that, my friend? I went, no. They push it on you. So it's a very, very difficult thing. Very, very important to stay busy and to keep away from, temptation. You know what I mean? Stay away from, don't go to bars and that sort of thing. See, Renee says, alcohol is a common social event and people shame you if you don't drink. Yeah, you know what? When I first stopped drinking, I would say to people, I don't drink anymore. If somebody says, you want a beer? No, I don't drink anymore. And they'll say, what do you mean anymore? It immediately starts questions. It starts a dialogue about why I don't drink anymore. You hear the dogs barking? So what I did was I learned to say, I'm a non-drinker. They'd say, okay. If you say you're a non-drinker, they just accept it and move on. They're not going to try to get a non-drinker to drink. But if you don't drink anymore, they're going to ask you questions and try to get you to drink. So if people ask you, just say, I'm a non-drinker. And that'll help. You can avoid that pitfall of having them, try to throw it on you. There's Tommy Scope. All right, people. We are going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for being here. I mean it. So one more time, in case you tuned in really late. Yep. If I got questioned on the I don't drink part. Stay strong because they will push on you. Dane says, I'll just say, I just say I'll have a water and they get the message. Thomas Malone is just checking in. Tommy Boy is checking in. Good to see you. Fresh meat. Listen, here's the real deal. Here's the real deal. Alcohol is one you can get anywhere. Yep. So, and Just Joan is late. I'm glad you're here. I'm just going to recap it really quickly what the basic point of this stream was. All right. The world is nuts. The world is crazy. And what can you do to not let that rub off on you? How do you stay sane in an insane world? Started with 3 ideas, but we're going to go with 4 now. Here's my 4 ideas. Just try them. I think it'll help. Number 1, be very aware of the content that you consume. We're super aware of the food we eat, right? We should be just as concerned with what we take in visually because we're in a day and age. You should see what this cat's doing. There's so much garbage on the internet and on TV. Just be mindful about what content that you're consuming because garbage in, garbage out. 2, control what you can. Make your bed, journal, do something where that you control. All right. It's little, but it gives you a sense of power in a world where before you don't feel like you have that. Protect your morning like your life depended on it because your morning sets, you should see what she's doing. What happens to you in the morning dictates how your day is going to go. And the fourth thing, please get connection. Connection is so important. Do not isolate yourself. The more you isolate yourself, the more you're giving the microphone to the ants. When you sit in the same room, you're taking the microphone and handing it to the ants, saying, take a shot at it, do your best. Right? So don't do that. All right? I hope some of this may be helpful. I really do. Stay strong. Seriously, You know, look at this. Brock says bad content feeds the ants. Boy, it really does. This cat is so cute. See if I can pick her up and show you guys the cat before I wrap this up. What are you doing? Here, Katie Purdy, mad animal, you. Oh. You good girl? You being good? Here's Katie Purdy. Does she look like a white werewolf or something? I think she does. You slow blank. What a good kitty. If I pick her up like this, she immediately starts purring. You're a good kitty. All right, guys. I hope you're able to take control. There's a lot we can do to take control. And doing that, you kind of keep the crazy from the world away from you. All right. Thank you guys for being here. If you have any questions, email me. If there's anything I can do for you guys, email me. There's a few people that haven't emailed me back after the first round of emails. If you see this, I'm waiting for your emails. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Tell someone you love them. Take control of your life and keep the crazy away. All right, and I'll see you guys in the morning. All right. Please join Tommy. He's going to be going live in a half hour. In a half hour. So please don't miss the guru. Sorry. You guys are all awesome. All right. I'll see you guys in the morning. I am Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat, South America. Katie Purdy.